Hey guys, this is Chesney Hawks here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Hi everybody, Russ and My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If your channel, please do subscribe and hitting the bell icon so you made aware to put new content on. As always, I think a lovely channel sponsors Untitled. Check them out in the description below. Another My Hammers 11 today. I couldn't believe I haven't had him on yet. You know, we've been here for a year, and it's only the other day I saw something that you and Marshall with your podcast, and I thought I haven't had Dom on. So we've got Dom.
Listen, mate, you hear the saying, you save the best till last, don't
you? Exactly. And there's a few more to come, so I'm joking. How you doing, big boy? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure.
I've seen a few of these come up.
Good.
Some friends have been on this channel. Always interested to hear, because you go through a lot of generations, don't you? Of My Hammers 11. Mine's of a generation. You'll find out as the video progresses. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's good to be on.
Yeah, it's good. And as we just said before we started, it's we can sort of take a breath now, can't we? The season's finished.
Yeah,
we can take a breath.
We can, mate. We can. As we were saying, but just before we went live, I'm glad it's over, because when you're fighting in the top 6 race, every game's a bag of nerves.
Yeah,
and every game you sort of like dread the build up to. I think it was only until late January, early February time when we actually looked like we were actually genuine contenders. The top 6. I started getting pre-match nerves every game. Yeah. And it just did not stop. I think the only games I weren't really nervous for was the games against the big teams, because I knew, I wouldn't really expect us to get a result. But I'm just glad it's over, man. It's been tough not being able to go either. I've really missed it a lot, especially these last few months since we've progressively come out of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And obviously I was unfortunate enough not to get a ticket for Sunday. And I was watching at home. I was glad we got the win. I was glad we done the job. Glad we're in the Europa League. But at the same time, it was very bittersweet, because it was just tough, looking at the people there. We're lucky enough. Good on them, Good on them.
Yeah.
Everyone's, after last year, every single person deserves to go to football. Yeah. Every single person. And hopefully by August, everyone will be back. But yeah, it was just tough. But never mind, it's done now.
It is, and I totally get that. Because that's, for a lot of people, not just yourselves, but you got to think some of the even older timers. They've been a season ticket holder, week in, home and away for 50 years, and for the last year, it's part of their life they couldn't have. And if they weren't fortunate enough to get a ticket on Sunday, then it must have been heart-wrenching. Like yourself, you want to be there, and probably some of your mates who were there, and you want to be there as well. And it's horrible. It's like it's almost like you're dangling a carrot in front of you, which you can't eat.
Well,
and it's unfortunate, isn't it? But there's nothing else they could do. But I know exactly your sentiment. And to be honest, Dom, fucking honest, I'd be going to say it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well done," really happy for everyone to have gone. But to be honest, everyone who didn't go was gutted they didn't go. And,
it was very frustrating for me, because I don't know if you saw on Thursday, I was having a bit of a meltdown over trying to get the tickets.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat. Obviously, some people sent their tickets back. Yeah. So the club obviously released the last lot to whoever else didn't get one. And obviously it's like basically it was a massive free for all. And everyone's, I think what it was, if I was on a computer, I reckon I would have got them, because I was stuck at work on my phone. I was tapping and tapping and tapping. I mean, I was sat in the cafe at work, and I must have looked like a complete and utter madman, because I was like muttering to myself, fucking come on. I was like tapping and tapping, like going absolutely berserk. And I had 2 in my basket, because obviously it had to make you select 2 seats because of social distancing.
Yeah.
But they tried charging me £141 for the 2 seats. I don't know where it was. I didn't care where it was. I just wanted to go there. But I thought, well, hang on a minute, this is a bit suspect, because I had to assign the other seat. And because obviously my close mates didn't renew in full, they weren't obviously eligible to be able to get one. So I thought, well, I can't assign this. So I just tried to delete the seat, and it deleted the other seat for me, kicked me out. and it was just soul destroying because I could see just all the blue turning into white and all these tickets just going. And then I had the 2 ticks and just nothing was at me. I just gave up. I was so gutted, so devastated.
Yeah.
But oh well, it is what it is.
Say la vie, in it next year, hopefully there'll be nothing like this, and everyone will be back with 60,000 screaming maniacs, in the London Stadium, and hopefully this will all be a footnote in history. And so, it's been horrible, but as you said, hopefully, things are starting to unwind a little bit now, and we've got a European tour to look forward to. Got a few away days, and because we've got a crap coefficient score, we'll be in pot 3, so we're definitely going to have a.
I think it's purely because we finished 6th. I think we finished where Leicester finished. I don't think we've got a bad coefficient score.
I think we've got 20. I think out of everyone, I think we're 3rd from bottom. I think we've got 20. I mean, Are
you talking about the country or West Ham?
West Ham.
I see.
West Ham, because we'll be
English teams in Europe lately have been brilliant.
Yeah, but I think in terms of the coefficient, because what they do is they rank all the teams based on how well they've performed in Europe, and we haven't been in Europe since.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So
it makes sense. So I think it was Dan on Dan Crocker said he went through it all, and I think we'll be potentially in I don't know, pot 3. So in theory we should have a Lazio or a Napoli or one of the Leverkusen. That's what we want, isn't it?
Well, I was saying to my pal who supports Liverpool. Obviously, like if you're a football supporter, you always appreciate other clubs' achievements, no matter what the difference in levels is. And I said to him, for me, it's very much got the similar feel of when you're a non-league club and you get into the FA Cup 3rd round proper and you got a chance to face in the Prem club. That's what it feels like for me. Being able to like play one of the European big boys, because Lazio, Napoli, I think Lyon are in there as well.
Yeah, Marseille.
Marseille. You've got some big boys in there. Champions League finalists, Champions League winners in past days. Just bring it on, man. I think it's going to be good, because I think we'll go into it without a fear factor. We've got there, completely against all odds.
Yeah,
it's just I think the sentiment's just going to be just enjoy it.
I think so. I totally agree. I think it is going to be, and your mates didn't win the Romanian Cup the other day, so that's all right. And
well, they would have gone to the Conference League anyway.
Yeah, I know, but you just know there'd be a way. They'd find a way.
Yeah, we'd have. Because I think when you finish 3rd in the Europa, you drop into the Conference League, and they would have got out. Yeah, I know.
You just know, and then Nicky
panic.
Then Nicky will get another couple of 100,000 views on that on a new video view. So
mate, I ain't doing that again. I ain't never again. I still see it today, and whenever someone shares it, I'll just tell them to fucking take it down or just delete the post, because it's just like 5 fucking years ago, man. Just move on,
No, I know. Sometimes it pops up. It does make me giggle, and I mean, don't forget also that I mean, those are the guys who quite. I mean, where I had the where is it? I had a little thing. I deleted it already. No, there it is. So that's the grits. Those are the guys who qualified in the yellow, in the white already. Those are in the playoffs already. Those are in
Champions League. Oh no, sorry, that's the.
No, they're in the playoffs.
I thought that said Rangers, not Randers.
No, it's Radgers. They're I know they are
Danish.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got Fenerbahce, and then obviously you've got all the guys who are going to not qualify for the Champions League as well. So it's going to, as you said, I think as long as we've got a couple of decent away trips, if we get out of the group stage, it'd be fantastic. If not, I think it's a great step.
I'd love to go to Leverkusen or Lazio. I don't know, man. I think obviously we can't get Leicester. The Spanish ones are a bit dead for me. The German, the French, and the Italian ones will be awesome. The bottom 2 there, Braga and Lokomotiv, don't really excite me.
At the moment, Braga are obviously the only one in the green country for us at the moment. So Portugal.
Well, you'd hope that would all change. I'm not even thinking about that being restricted by September.
Yeah, I just don't want. I wouldn't want Napoli. God, those Naples boys, they're a bit naughty. So yeah,
But
Lazio,
they're a massive club, man. They've got some
yeah.
great players.
I mean, they've called the stadium now, the Maradona Stadium now, or something like that in Napoli. So
I think it's the San Paolo, weren't it? It's got a
yeah.
cracking atmosphere. Fenerbahce there as well.
I'm a bit of a historian, so Eintracht Frankfurt will be an amazing one because obviously we famously played them in into the European nights before, back in the day. That'd be cool. Betis, obviously, that's Pellegrini's club, and you got Marseille, you got the Snake.
Sociedad's David Moyes' old club as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's so many, and Lazio, obviously, the Canio derby. So
yeah. That'll be a very.
We're going to get
friendly.
St Johnston though. You just know St Johnston are going to turn up, and
mate, I said I'd actually wouldn't mind a trip to Scotland. Yeah. We got Celtic in for the friendly, didn't we?
I remember going to the last one years ago. We played them absolutely years ago at a Parkhead, and it was absolutely mental. Mental it was. I remember that game. It was absolutely mental. I almost got glassed.
I really hope we can go to that because I've always wanted to go to Parkhead. I think
it's an amazing place.
Both everyone hates Celtic, everyone hates Rangers, everyone likes them. Like I said, they're like Marmite, but I'm very, I think they're two great, massive clubs. I think I don't rate their league. I don't rate the Scottish league. I think it's a Sunday league sort of league. But them two are very respectful clubs.
Yeah, they
are. Yeah, to go to one of them would be great.
It'd be cool.
And we're going to Celtic. But
with Celtic, there's a real West Ham connection, isn't there? We've had so many players that played for both clubs as well.
Yeah, but I think a lot of our fans hate Celtic because of the whole British thing and all that.
I remember ended up being in a pub in the middle of Glasgow. It's a real rough area. It's not called Goebbels, but something like that. We ended up in, and it was a Celtic pub, and it was a bit like it was more tongue in cheek what they were doing, but. It's great. The great thing in a weird way, having all these restrictions means we are going to be probably playing more British-based teams. So that's not a bad thing, I think. So more people can go to the games, and Shamrock Rovers are in the. We could have the Joey O'Brien derby as well. They're in the qualifiers.
They played Milan last year in the old qualifier, and it was such a shame because no one could go.
I know, it's mental, isn't it? But yeah.
Nothing.
Anyway, we can take a breath now and worry until is it August the 27th? The draw is, I think, something like that. Crazy stuff. Right, so Dom, why West Ham? Why is it your club? We see the picture behind you. Why is it your club?
Why not? Eh?
Why not? That's it. Next question.
Why not? Now I'll tell you why. It all started off. So obviously, because obviously when I remembered I was going on tonight, I thought I'd better dig up some old photos.
Nice.
So that's me. Hold on. This was my first West Ham hat, right?
Yeah.
And I was so excited to wear it, I forgot to take the label off.
Oh, bless you.
But no, it was it's my first. I think it was early 2000s. One of my first West Ham memories. My first kit was the old Doc Martens one. It's my profile picture on Facebook when I think I would have been about 6 or 7 in that picture.
Yeah.
In case no one's seen it, there's me as a little baby, fresh faced, a lot more hair.
That's the new kit. That's what they reckon the new kit's going to look like.
That's what I said. It looks like it, doesn't it? I'm not one to buy the kit anymore, but that may tempt me. But it was my granddad really. Big old West Ham fan back in the day, 60s, 70s. But he was more of an England man. Yep. Like his idol was. I'll show you. I'm going. It's like show and tell here, ain't it?
Show and tell with Dom. I like it.
I'll show you. His idol was Paul Gascoigne, and he passed away now, and he left me this. So it's like a tribute to him from Paul Gascoigne, Rush the Red Williams. And how's the knee? Because he hurt his knee, and obviously he got it signed and he got it framed. Very dusty, excuse the dust. But yeah, his idol was Paul Gascoigne, believe it or not. And he used to love England. I think in '82 he drove to Spain for the World Cup.
Wow.
I don't know if he went to a game, but he just wanted to be there. He was more of an England man than a West Ham man. But he, when he passed away, me and my gran, we dug out all these old videos of England matches, West Ham matches, and that's sort of how I learnt about the history of West Ham. I watched a few classic matches. I think the Bradford one was on there, the 5-4 win against Bradford. There was one against Sheffield Wednesday. Did we beat them Sheffield Wednesday 4-3 back in the day? Something like that.
Could have been.
Yeah, there were a few really, the Chelsea 4-0 was on there, and I think that was 86, wasn't it? And that's sort of how I got into the history of West Ham. And he bought me my first. Obviously, I just showed you my first kit. He died when I was 8. He went on holiday and he passed away. He collapsed and died of a heart attack. So we never actually got to go to a game together, which is it was a real shame, massive regret. But he obviously left West Ham in his legacy to me. And I think since then it's all kicked on really. I think my first season of following West Ham was I didn't go to any games until I was about, 10, 11. But my first season was the 2004-5 season when we got promoted.
Yeah.
So I actually started. It was a good time to start.
Glory hunter. Yeah.
So you'll see, obviously you'll see a few familiar names from the early seasons, because I like to stick with the original sort of boys from my time. Because I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah.
So and since then it's been all fun and games, isn't it? Obviously, I wouldn't change for the world.
No, I wouldn't.
When I was in school, a lot of my pals supported Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, all the big, the traditional big teams you get. And I remember one of my mates who was a Man United fan. He was like, I think it was when we were in the Championship, he started taking the piss, but then he actually turned around and said, to be fair, Dom, at least you actually go to games. I've never been to watch Man United. And, that's what makes it special, because you can actually say, well, actually, I've been to watch my team.
Yeah.
And, that's what makes it, makes it feel more, Yeah,
no, I totally agree. And I think actually there's something special about that. As you said, you got into it through your granddad, and it's very similar to me. That's how I got into West Ham, my granddad. And you sort of, he passed away, and you sort of almost live your, he was a fan for many, many, many years, and so you feel like you're keeping the tradition going. And with your kids and their kids, and sort of keep that sort of family thread going through, keeping the family name in, at the London Stadium now. But it's and that's what I think, that's why West Ham fans really are a special bunch, particularly in lockdown and stuff. It seems like, they've come up, people come up trumps, someone's having a shit day, someone's not feeling too good, they're people feeling open enough to communicate that on Twitter and Facebook, and people respond to it. And there's a few, recently some guy, I haven't tweeted for 4 hours, and I've had loads of people tweeting me because they haven't heard from me. Am I okay? I'm fine. And there's a lot of people lost their jobs, and people have helped them out. And I know people have had family members have passed, and the West Ham family's come up strong. And it's and that, coupled with the team performing well, it sounds really corny, but it's almost like a new West Ham. Do you know what I mean? I said after we won against West Brom last week, because I got very emotional. I was actually I went downstairs after we won and to see my dad, and I was in I had tears streaming down my face. They didn't fucking lose to West Brom, did they? I was like, no, we won. My wife is exactly the same. Oh, how many did they lose by today? She still doesn't understand we actually are in Europe.
But I was just because I thought that's when I actually thought we've got top 6 in the bag.
Yeah,
there were lingering nerves on Sunday, but I never thought we were actually going to blow it. But I put a tweet out saying, because not everyone's perfect. You don't get on with everyone. You're always going to have a few people in life you don't get on at West Ham. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want what's best for the club. We all want to see us do well, whether you agree with each other, whether you dislike each other. Everyone wants the same thing, and I think now's the time to really because this is a big moment for the club. If we get it right in the summer, we've got a massive chance of progressing. So now's the time to stay united. Obviously, a lot of people want GSB out, myself included, but we all want West Ham to do well, and that's the common denominator.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's like, I mean, I said about that West Ham Clips account. That guy I look forward to that. Whether it's win, lose or draw, I look forward to that alternative commentary every day. It brightens up my day. I mean, I messaged him quite a few times, telling him how much I enjoy it. And I said when he'd done the last one yesterday, I said he deserves a lot of credit because obviously most of the season. Since January, we've all been stuck in lockdown. The only thing we've had to look forward to this, the whole year up until recent weeks is West Ham playing.
Yeah,
and all during the early times of the year, the winter, I'd work 5 days a week. Saturday, I'd stay indoors, watch West Ham, do overtime Sunday, go back to work Monday to Friday.
Yeah,
and that's all I had to look forward to. But then West Ham Clips adds that extra bit of laughs because it's been tough for everyone.
Yeah.
But then you just you're down, you're bored at home, you can't really go out and do anything, you can't meet anyone. And then that comes up and you just look at it and for about that 2 minutes you're just lost in laughing at everything. Yeah. Just brilliant. So it's just us, like I said, the beacon of hope.
Yes. Yeah, there is. And you're right. There is. I mean, I've been doing the stuff. I've been up the ground. I've been doing West Ham for 20 years. I've been working there now. And I don't think there's been a more optimistic time to be a West Ham fan. And it sounds so corny, but it's so true, And for those people who were at the game on Sunday, I was really made up for David Moyes more than anything, like genuinely, because he looked probably the happiest he's looked in his 2 terms at West Ham. He was grinning like a Cheshire cat, and we gave him the mic to do an interview. He didn't bother even looking at the camera. He turned around and just faced the fans, or faced the Billy Bond stand and the other 2, and was just like talking to them, saying, "Look, thank you, we did it. Have a great summer. Get your passports, yada yada yada. Get your jabs for Europe." And then I was watching. Obviously, I was watching. I know Nicky does his post match, interview, not a pint, but obviously does post match interviews with fans. And obviously, we had Fat Boy Weaver. He was getting really emotional, And I was like,
I was good. I was
fair play.
I didn't do any of him, but I think I would have been the same.
Yeah, I was like, fair play.
One of their moments.
It was, and it was emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're welling up now.
Oh, I always well up about West Ham. But I mean, it was really. I'm just thinking about Sunday. It was really like when Bubbles started playing Bubbles, and I could start hearing the fans singing already. It choked me up because, like, for a year I've been there, literally, like, and then there was a crowd.
Like, how long have you been the DJ for?
20 years. It's 20th season this season. Yeah.
Well, as the DJ?
Yeah. So I started in 2000, and my first season was the new stand, was the Rio stand, when we moved into the Rio stand, which was 2001, 2002 season. So I've been doing it ever since then. So just kept my nose clean.
I was going to say, because I thought there was a previous one before you at the Boleyn, but I think it's Leon.
Well, Leon, yeah. So Leon, what Leon did, so Leon would do like the warm up. So I was there years before Leon.
Okay, right.
So Leon would do DJ Leon. He would do the warm up. He was in there for a couple of years doing but he wouldn't do the actual bubbles and the mixes. He'd do his little set upstairs. Yeah, old Leon, he's all right, old Leon.
So do you edit all the? Do you like make the montage? That's not you, is it?
No, that's a production company. That's
they're quite, they are good, to be
fair. They are good, and
I do slate the media team a lot, especially after the last few years. Silly things like the See You Saturday Jose stuff, but some of the content, like that video reviewing the season, that was brilliant. I've watched that about 10 times. That really pulled on my heartstrings.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes I think the fact is this season, because we've had so many good games, we've been playing so well, that naturally there's going to be more behind the scenes training videos, things like that, which we love to see. And fair play. I mean, the other day, a few weeks ago over Easter, they did a virtual open training session, because normally Easter we'd have opened up London Stadium, kids would have turned up, but they couldn't do it, so they had to do a virtual one. And fair play to them, they had a go. I mean, it was funny. Chris, Colton, Mark texting Colton. It was all quite funny, but they tried. And I think sometimes people, it's a hard job what they do. I know it's a hard job what they do.
Still not a fan of the training ground videos, though. They really do my head in, especially when someone ain't scored in about 10 games and they stick it at top. They're
banging them in.
Do it when it matters. Yeah. But no,
it's one of those things. It's like everyone, it's the same as stuff you do in Marshall, you do your podcast. People don't agree with things you say or whatever. Everyone's got an opinion, and that's why I love.
Yeah, I think a lot of the trouble is, I think especially West Ham fans, a lot of people get lost in the moment.
Of course they do.
Like, I think I found myself getting into an argument with somebody after the Brighton game, and I was pissed off with the result, and somebody asked a question which, I don't want to sound rude saying it was stupid, but it was a question that was like the obvious, the answer was obvious. And I was like, really, like, is that really is he really asking that? And, I was looking back, I shouldn't really word it the way I did. And I was just so annoyed about the result. So I ended up saying, look, we're all pissed off. I'm sorry, if I was too hard on you, but we'll just leave it there.
That's the West Ham family, Dom. It's like all families. Christ, how many rounds did you have your family, particularly in lockdown at the moment? It's like, you do.
How long we got?
Exactly. But but that's what I think. It's one of those things where you see spats on Twitter, and then next day there'll be an apology from either side.
That's the way you do it, isn't it?
That's the way you do it. Because everyone's the same. Everyone is exactly the same. And, but football's about opinions. Everyone's got one, and like arseholes, everyone's got one, and so you can't, and that's when I'm one of those people. I sit on the fence. I have literally splinters in my arse. I always sit on the fence because I like to be like the umpire in between debates.
Do you like playing a bit of devil's advocate as well?
Not really. I know what I like to do.
If you're on the fence, you must do.
I like to flip it. So if someone says something to me, so like there's been a and I don't like slagging off our current team, because I think for me, we would swap our world to do what those players do once, to put the claret and blue shirt on and play for your club. We would swap the world, because
I think once would be enough for me, to be fair.
I don't think I could do more than one, to be honest, Dom. Maybe half an hour, maybe offer something different in the final third in the second half.
Big man up top.
Big man up top, exactly. Offer something different, it's not bad for a big man. And so, when some people say, I know there was a debate about, Ben Rama and and Fornals and people like that, and he doesn't score and he doesn't pass. You go, well, okay, Declan Rice doesn't score and he doesn't pass. Assists, but you don't slag him. I always try and give but I give another slant. So people go, we haven't invested in the team this year. Yada yada yada. Rah, rah, rah. In the 60s, we had three of the best players in the world. We won the World Cup. We didn't win the league. So what's the difference between now and then? Or, in 85, 86, we didn't improve the squad in 86 in the close season and didn't perform. So, it's, I always try and like to do a balance, as you said, because some people get so passionate about the current situation that they don't look back and go, actually, I did all the stats like this season. This season's been a fucking good season for us. And, and going back and looking how well we've performed in the other Premier League seasons, it puts things in context.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think a lot of the people I think they miss the context a lot in the arguments. You say, like, something, and they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" And they don't actually like look into the context. And if they actually do, I think 9 times out of 10 they'd actually sort of agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the trouble is you've got 180 characters to do it.
Exactly,
and that's the trouble.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. And even that, it's like if someone texts you, you could read that text in 4 different ways based on how pissed off you are in your head. My wife's exactly the same. My wife will send me a text, "Oh my God, this person sent me this." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's wrong with that?" She went, "Oh my God, she's been so disrespectful." And I was like, "Is she?" I thought she's just, because I read it in my head in a different intonation. And that's why I like doing these things. That's why I like getting people on. That's why I like talking to people. Because actually, you get where they're coming from, and you don't get that in 180 characters. So and it's great that people can do that and make comments on videos and come on and talk, and and to be honest, everyone's it's easy enough to do. Set up your podcast now or set up a YouTube channel. It's a piece of piss on your phone and stuff. You don't need equipment. You can do it.
Oh no, I needed this Mac, mate. I think to do my stuff, I bought this Mac in February. And it's really annoying because I've got this green screen, but I take it down. I've got all these like autographs on my wall, which I used to collect at the bowling.
Yeah.
Until I was about 19, 20. I just grew out of it. But I've got so many of these on my wall. I just stuck them on, and they're all just too far gone. They're all stuck.
That's the trouble. Yeah.
I can't
fade as well.
I can't rip them off. I can't take them off without like tearing them, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I've got some proper good ones on here. Like I've got Mourinho, I've got Giggs, Vardy, Mahrez, Kane before they're all famous.
Yeah.
And but yeah, a lot of people see it in the background. They're like, "Oh, is he fucking doing murder mystery on his wall or something?" Like, so it's a bit like, well, I do acknowledge from an outside point of view, it does look a bit strange. So I've got this green screen to cover it up. And then I've obviously, to do the podcast, I thought the sound's got to do better. So I've got a mic, and, my brother set up the mic because I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
The Mac. So, yeah, I do need more than a phone to do.
Well, I think some people do, some people don't. It depends how, it's I think as you... I mean, for me, I ironically, I started and it was just like literally me with a phone, and I went and bought and some people, I bought, I don't know, 20 quid mic off Amazon.
That was 20 quid.
No, not this one. No, not this one. Fucking yeah, not this one. And then I got another one, and then I upgraded. I mean, we've been doing it for a year now, this channel. So I got 20 quid mic to start off with, and then I got upgraded to a 60 quid mic, but I got it off eBay. It was probably about an 80 quid mic, but I got it for like 50 quid. It's unboxed, one of those Snowball ones. And then this was a birthday present. And then I've got the lights, and then so it's all about just doing it as and when, incrementally. But nowadays it is a piece of piss. I mean, I know people who do their channel just purely on their phone because it's with this StreamYard and stuff, it's a piece of piss. But everyone can have a voice now. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to hide behind 180 characters. You can give a full description of what you think, and people can understand the intonation, understand where you're coming from. And no, I love it. I love listening to everyone. Some good. Yeah, everyone's. It's great. I literally don't watch telly anymore now. I watch this. And I
do love EastEnders.
Do you know? I went off it as soon as we went into lockdown. As soon as they came back.
I see what you mean. It's the social distancing annoys the hell out of me. It annoys the hell out of me in real life.
Yeah, it does. We had.
That's all I watch now. I'm more of a Netflix man. I watch series. I think that's the modern. That's the next step in modern life, ain't it?
I hate the fact that you have things that are sort of every week now. So I'm used to watching a series in a couple of days. Now, just binge watching the whole series on Netflix. Like, when we had Line of Duty, I hated that because I had to wait a whole week for the next episode. It's like, fucking hell.
And it wasn't even worth the wait, was it?
No, it wasn't at the end. Typically, was it? I mean, we had Perry on. We had Billy Mitchell. We had him on a few months ago, and we had Jay on a while, and we're talking about the schedule.
What? Ain't Jay an Arsenal fan?
No, he's a West Ham fan. Jay
is he?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought he was a gooner.
No, big West Ham. I know he's been pitching in an Arsenal shirt before because I think his mate he's done stuff at the Emirates with Max because Max is a West Ham fan. Max Branning, he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, that's it. Jake Wood.
Yeah. So, but no, Jay, he's a nice boy. But they talk about how it's literally for them that social distancing is literally doubling all their work schedule, their recording
Yeah.
schedules. It's because it's like
so
all in
annoying.
bubbles.
It can't be easy.
No.
But yeah, I do love I do love the EastEnders cast. I've met Stuart a few times. He lives near where I work, and on my way to work a few times, I've like bumped into him coming out of the shop, and I stop and have a chat. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm a big fan. Keep it all up. But I've met Billy Mitchell. I'm going to go through the archive again. I met Billy Mitchell. This was when I was 16 in the championship season, and I was because my dad's friends with Brian Deere.
Yeah.
Obviously a West Ham great back in the 60s. He's obviously local to me, and he goes to the same pub as me and my dad. So we've become very, very acquainted with him. And sometimes he gives us a lift up to games. And that day with Billy Mitchell, he drove me up there with his grandson, who's a friend of mine. And obviously Brian had to go into the corporate lounge and do a bit of work, so he left me to just fend for myself, basically. Just do what I do, go out the ground, collect some autographs. I was in the club shop, and I thought I need to get a pen and a new pad to get my autographs. So I went into the club shop, and I was in the queue, and I just turned around and I just saw Perry Fenwick behind me. I was like, it's Billy Mitchell. So I was like, and he was surrounded. I was like, I had to pay for my thing. I was like, I want to pay, but I want to get a picture. And I just said to the guy behind me, look, you can go in front of me if you like. So I was like, can I have a picture of you, Perry? And I looked back at the picture, and I was 16. I thought, fucking hell, like he's tiny.
He is. Yeah.
I'm a big lump now, but even back then, like compared to him, fucking hell. Like,
He's a lovely bloke as well.
Yeah, I met him again a few years later, and I said, I don't know if you remember me. He was like, no. Fair enough.
He's got a great. When we interviewed him, we had this. I remember he was wearing a Trevor Brooking 1980 t-shirt. And he went, "Oh, look what I got." And I said, "Yeah, I got you." Yeah, he says, "Yeah, 1980 that was." Didn't think it was going to be fucking 40 years before we go back there. So we've still not been back since. I was like, I know. But no, he's a good boy. They all are. They're all lovely guys. So right, let's do your Hammers 11.
Yeah, we've been rattling on for a while.
Yeah, we always do, Dom.
Yeah.
We go down a rabbit hole. We just keep going, and that's why I love it, because sometimes sometimes it's a snappy one. Sometimes but it's memories. It's your memories, man, and that's what's important. That's why I love these shows, because we've talked about your memories and talked about your granddad and stuff like that, and that's what's important to you. But because of West Ham, so it doesn't matter what way you come through, you always come through the same. We always end up at the same destination. So, right. So Hammers 11, you can pick whoever you want. The only rule is you have to be alive to see them play, and that's the only rule. That is the only rule.
I would have done it. It would have been my time anyway, because much as I've heard of, obviously we all know how great Bobby Moore,
of course,
Mike Peters, and they all were, the usual ones, Brooking, Bonds, Dix. I've never seen them play.
No, me neither.
So, it's obviously my time. So I've gone for I'm only 26, Russ, but I'm sort of quite old fashioned, not,
Sure.
old fashioned, but when I started getting into football, I still like, obviously 20 years ago, I still like how the game was played then.
Agreed.
And I kind of miss it, because obviously the game has changed. We're on to the next generation now, aren't we? Yeah. And this is like probably the first step into a next generation for me. And I'm struggling to get used to it, which is why I kind of like sticking with the old sort of
am as
methods.
Well. I'll be totally honest, Dom. I really am. Doing this show, doing this series, I've realised how I miss old football, but not from a professional perspective, from an entertainment perspective. I loved football. When I went to go to football, and we've spoken about, you used to get you'd go to the bowling, you'd put your hand through the railings, you'd get someone to sign something, that type of thing. And we had so many good personalities. Football was really about personalities rather than they're good players, but you would not, Ian Wright was a good player, but he had a cracking personality, and we had all of them. We had loads. And I think that football's become really professional now. And I think you miss that entertainment value. The entertainment value is based on skill rather than going because John Moncur is going to run up and down a touchline pretending to grope the linesman. Do you know what I mean?
Hi,
Everybody. I'm sorry to interrupt the episode, but I'd just like to say that today's episode is actually sponsored by our friends at Manscaped. So thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the episode. You'll see here, they've sent me some stuff to show you as well. So your balls will thank you. All fantastically designed and packaged. I love it. I love a bit of packaging. But the whole idea of Manscaped is to make sure that down there is all trimmed up as well as up here. That's all. Simple concept. But here's the main thing. It comes with here's the main boy, the Lawnmower 3.0. There we go. With a little light I've just noticed as well, so you can do Morse code in between. So not SOS, but to make sure you know where you can see what you're doing, particularly if it's in the shower or whatnot as well. It's all skin safe technology. So the idea is, look at that. Oh, smoothing a baby's bottom, back of my hand is. So it means you don't nick the old comes with a free guard as well. You can get interchangeable blades as well to make sure that it's all nice and hygienic, which is good. What else we got here? Look at this properly. Yeah. We've got some ball toner, crop reviver, for an anytime pick me up. Spritz your goods once or twice, always twice, always twice, always double dip, and let air dry. So I'll make sure I lock the back door for that. Look, not the back door, the bathroom door. lock the bathroom door and let the old boys dry. More berries than twig. Oh, I suppose the twig has to dry as well, but it's mainly the berries. What else we got here? We've got ball deodorant, crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant. Yeah, give that one a go as well. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to this. What else we got? It comes with free gifts as well. So we've got here a pair of boxer shorts, anti-chafing boxing shorts, and sweat wicking fibers prevent anti-chafing and swamp crotch. We all don't like swamp crotch, do we? So that's good. It comes with a free bag as well to put it all in, all leather. Proper stuff that is, and it comes with these mats as well, which are basically newspaper type mats made of old school like newspaper paper. So the idea is you put this on the floor when you do the whole the old what's it called, shaving. That's the one, and then you can scrunch them up. Not the balls. I meant the newspaper. Put it in the bin. So that's all good. Anyway, if you want to get involved, description, all the information is in the description below, in the video description. Hit the link. Because you're part of the My Hammers 11 community, you get 20% off by putting the promo code in the description, plus free shipping. That ain't bad, is it? Anyway, get involved and back to the video. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. The linesman. Do you know what I mean? You just can't get away with it anymore now. So I know I'm still very much really in like one foot in the old school. Really am. So with that in mind, who's in goal, Dom? Who's in goal for your 11?
This is without a shadow of a doubt for me. I'm just going to say it straight off the bat. Rob Green.
Yep.
He was one of my original goalkeepers in the team. The first keepers I remember was Bywater and Jimmy Walker.
Yeah.
Obviously Jimmy Walker done his knee in the playoff final, but I just thought, we had Roy Carroll the following season. I didn't think was great. Hislop, I played for the club before, so there's always that sentiment. But Rob Green was just the most consistent. He was with us for 6 years. I thought he was a cracking keeper. I really like Rob Green. So my sister loved him as well. She was about 10 when she was in primary school. So I'm going back about 10 years now. She was a goalkeeper for a school team, and she used to love Rob Green. And when I bought her a Rob Green jersey when she was for Christmas one year. It was obviously I had to get it was a kids one. I had to get the one without a sponsor, so it was like the Bobby Moore fun one, the gold kit. Got Rob Green on the back. It was only 50 quid to be fair back then. It would be about double the price nowadays. So looking back, it was a bit of a bargain. But yeah, I did like Rob Green. I was gutted when he made that mistake in South Africa. I really was. And I don't think he was the same then.
No, and I don't think he's. But I think that's the thing about goalkeepers, isn't it? It's always, if Ogbonna misses a pass and it goes to, a goalkeeper, if they fuck it up, that's it. It's usually a goal. And I don't think I think that mistake outside of West Ham, basically put a nail in the coffin of Robert Green's career, really, because everyone talks about, he did a great save, but he let a goal in against USA in the World Cup, so it's always going to be tricky for him. But I totally agree. He was just so consistent. And obviously we've had loads of keepers on the show, and we've had Jimmy and Roy Carroll and people like that. And they talk about just how professional Rob Green is as he was as a player and how he trained. And yeah, an amazing goalkeeper. Been for a long time. Goalkeepers we've done all right with the goalkeepers, haven't we? Really, in all response, we haven't done too bad with goalkeepers. But
well, apart from that idiot
from 6 months, 6 months, 6 month period. Apart from that, it's usually
I don't think he's going to be in anyone's 11. You see the Robert and you think, oh no, surely not. And then you missed the O. But yeah, I didn't say what formation. Did I say what formation I got?
No, but it doesn't.
No, it's an old-fashioned 4-4-2.
Good. Nice.
No nonsense.
Right. No nonsense. I like it. Left back then. If we're playing a 4-4-2, who's your left back then, Dom?
Left back. One who I don't really hear in others' 11 really. I think he's kind of a forgotten man. The trouble is with fullbacks. Up until this season, I don't think we've had great fullbacks for a very long time. No. I think, and I'd even go as far to say, I know Creswell and Masuaku have been good this season. I know Masuaku's been injured a lot. Creswell before this season for a number of years, I thought was very, very poor. I think he's shown poor bits this season, but he's been a lot better, very improved.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be Creswell. And we haven't had many good fullbacks, but for sentimental value, is Paul Konchesky.
Oh, Conch, you'll love that. He'll love it.
Yeah, I remember his goal in the cup final. Definitely meant that one. But I just thought he was good, man. I was really, really sad when he left. I mean, there was George. Believe it or not, there was George McCartney in there as well, and I actually liked George McCartney, but I just thought. Yeah, it was solid, but again, he's not really the first player you think of. And I just think Konchesky grew up as a West Ham boy, I believe, didn't he?
Yeah, did you?
I know it was a shame he left. I was so sad to see him go, but he went on to sign for Liverpool, which must have meant something. He's great at Fulham. Yeah, I think we made a mistake, but yeah, I did like Paul Konchesky back in the day. So yeah, he's in at left back,
and anytime I put him in, he always likes because he watches them. He likes them, so that's it. So Conch is in, so we'll get a like from Conch. That's okay. So that's all good. But yeah, he's good, and it's great that he's obviously he was still involved. He was still involved he was doing the loan. He was head of loan, something like that. So basically, he'd go around all the kids who were loaned out to league teams. He was in charge of making sure they're all right. At the club, and obviously he's just moved. He's assistant manager for the women's team, isn't he? Next season, so great. Love him. All right, Conch is in. Who is right back? Who's going to be right back then?
Again, it's another forgotten man sort of thing, and it's the same really thick thing as the left back. Again, we've not apart from Soufal. I think it goes to show how poor our right backs have been in recent years. Because Soufal's been with us for one season. He's just finished his first season. I think he's the best right back I've ever seen play for us, if I'm being honest. Yeah. We've had some which have done a job, which have been okay. But they've never been outstanding as much as him. But obviously I can't put Soufal in because he's only been here a year.
Yeah, it's a bit early.
He won't. I think a lot of people would have forgotten about him. It's Lucas Neill.
Lucas Neill, great captain.
I liked him a lot. I thought he was our last solid right back before Soufal come in. Very good captain, like you said. Very highly rated. Just very, very consistent, I thought. And again, when he didn't sign that contract in 2009, I was gutted.
Yeah,
really gutted. He ended up going to Everton for a brief stint, and then ended up going to Galatasaray a few months later. So it was a bit of a shame, a bit of a waste, I thought.
Yeah, and he's a great he was a great captain for us. We've had like a lot of players who have played with him speak about just him as an off the pitch captain as well. And yeah, I mean, the Great Escape, really.
Yeah.
You know, although Tevez got the goals and Rob Green did the goalkeeping, Lucas Neill's captaincy was apparently a huge factor, in it.
You also look at who we've had at right back since he left. We had Faubert, who would always give 100%, but just wasn't great.
No.
Jakobsen, who was just terrible. Barami, who really was a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Joey O'Brien, who again gave it his all, just weren't great. You know, we've really struggled with right back since Lucas Neill left, up until I think Fredericks was all right. But again, it's his pace that saves him. I think it's just Soufal's the man for me. Soufal's the answer. But yeah, for me, in my squad, it's got to be Lucas Neill.
Yeah,
again, sentimental reasons.
No, totally, and I think you're totally right. I think for me, Soufal if you did this 3 or 4 years time, could well be in most people's. You know,
absolutely.
If obviously they weren't around to see Ray Stewart or because they'd always pick him. Because but we never saw him. I think I put Schemmel in because I think he was like for 2 years or for one season particularly, he was hammer of the year. He was very strong for us. But yeah, looking back at it, Soufal I think is on course. I think he's a great player. He's my hammer of the year this year, I think. Right, centre back. Who's your first centre half then, Dom?
This was the hardest part for me because we've had a lot of centre backs which I've liked a hell of a lot. There's Reid, of course.
Yeah.
It's such a shame what's happened with Reid, the injury, and you forget he still plays for us.
Yeah,
there's a chance he could come up with Brentford this season. I really hope they win on Saturday because I think maybe if he can play a part on Saturday and they get a result, maybe we can think about getting him back and having some form of role because we need depth next season.
Yeah,
and obviously I think he's been probably our best centre back the last decade. I'll go as far to say. Scored the last goal at the Bowling Ground. Declined a hell of a lot though. I mean that the injuries just caught up with him in the end.
They did,
there was James Tompkins, of course. Again from the academy, gave it his all. Without him, I don't think we'd have got promoted in 2012 either. I'm spoiling it a bit here because I'm effectively ruling these out for the next one, but I'll just crack on with it now. Again, sentimental reasons, and I think he's a cult hero as well. Very, very popular with the fans. Calling for a testimonial, it's James Collins.
Yeah.
Just because it's him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Threw his body in front of everything. He'd still be someone I'd keep for squad depth. Just one of them players who just gets the club. Bleeds it through his veins. Came back for a second spell. Was absolutely brilliant in that first season back. Just great to see him again. And yeah, since then, and up until his retirement, just a brilliant servant to the club.
Yeah, no, he was, man. He got good. He obviously had him on the pitch on Sunday. He got a great response because he always does. It's James Collins, and when he just says, we're going to win 3-1 and we're going to finish above Tottenham, and then was like, he just knows the club.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it was
that's just so cool.
It was what was I going to say? I'll never forget the it's obviously it's not West Ham related, but I just remember him playing for Wales in the semi against Portugal and seeing him go up against Ronaldo. I was just like, this is something I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's going to be a very similar. I can sort of picture it in us in the Europa League next season when Craig Dawson goes up against like Dries Mertens against Napoli or Insigne, someone like that. It's just it's a great story. I think when someone like Collins just comes up against someone like Ronaldo, it's just you can't. It's surreal.
Yeah, it's one of those bizarre. It's going to be one of those bizarre things when we come up against, as you said, someone who, you own in FIFA. It's sort of outside of the Premier League. It's sort of it's a next level thing, and
it is, mate.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be so strange. But yeah, GP definitely good old GP. Love him to bits. Who's he going to partner then?
Right. One of my favourite ever West Ham players. It's one of the Ferdinand brothers. Right. One of my original players when I first started supporting the club. Again, gave it his all. Been promoted with us, stuck with us in the early parts of the Premier League. Just an all-round, down-to-earth sort of guy. Obviously featured in a documentary. It's Anton Ferdinand.
Nice.
I just like the guy. I've always liked him. I've always, again, when he left, he left behind Kirbish's back a bit, didn't he? When he went to Sunderland in 2008, it was, again, it just for sentimental reasons. One of the original players who was just there from the start, and he was always there. Just, I remember the goal he scored against Fulham.
Yeah.
And then he always popped up with the odd goal there and then. I remember in 2007 when we beat Man United. It was around about Christmas time, 2007, and I was in Gran Canaria on a Christmas holiday with my family. And I was about 12, and me and my dad were watching it in a bar in the sun. It was really weird because obviously back home it was winter and it was pitch black and cold, and there we are, all right for some, sitting in the sun, like lapping it all up. It was when Ronaldo missed the penalty at 1-0, and then we went on to win 2-1, and both the centre-backs scored. It was Upson, and I think Ferdinand got the equaliser, didn't he, Anton?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And Upson got the winner. But yeah, I just loved it, Anton. Just one of them who get the club, Yeah. And totally. He went on, obviously, he's played for a few clubs since, but he signed for Southend United, who's my local team.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
And he obviously, I work in my job every Christmas where I work. The Southend United football team comes and visits every year, just to hand out gifts, because community sort of thing.
Sure, yeah.
And somebody come up to me and said, "Oh, the Southend team are in there," and it just dawned on me, shit, Anton Ferdinand plays for them. I was like, this guy, I watched him as my childhood hero, and I stormed into the room, and I think Phil Brown was the manager, and Phil Brown just turns around, and I said to him, "Where's Anton?" And it was like, "He's gone home." I was like, "Oh, you're fucking joking me, Phil. I've always wanted to meet this guy, and he's been in the room next door to me all this time. I didn't even realise." So yeah, I was gutted, but that was that.
Yeah,
but yeah, big fan of Anton Ferdinand.
Yeah, you're right. He just gets the club, doesn't he? We've had him on. He's a great lad. He's really sweet, and and it's interesting because obviously I asked him about obviously going up, playoffs and things like that, and he was like, because I don't really think of it, someone like Anton's a bit different than say a normal player, but. Anton was there from a very young age. He was there 3 years before he joined, really, because Rio was there and he was hanging around. And it's Rio had a bit of training, but he'd be there as well. So, he was there longer than Rio because he was, he just was. And I said to him, what's it like, that playoff final, knowing, he says, I've never felt so much pressure in my life because I'm not just playing for my contract and playing in the Premier League. I'm playing for Betty the Tea Lady, who I've known since I was 11, the kit man Eddie, and this and the so, and I never thought of it like that. Do you know what I mean? I think you go,
you don't, do you?
You're totally right. In the same way, when people go down, if they're really associated with a club, it's it's the tea lady who's going to have to take a 20% pay. It really put things into context that how much it meant to people.
Well, that's what you sort of don't really realise in modern football. But then again, you do when you watch them documentaries like the Man City one, the Tottenham one, the Leeds, the Sunderland. They're all like these world-class players like De Bruyne, best mates with the kit man. You don't know who that kit man is. The tea lady. They come in and see little these are global superstars. Yeah. But the people that mean the people that are close to them are just your average Joes like you and I.
Yeah.
So we do forget that. You're right.
It's true, and I mean Anton makes a really good point about Lucas Neill, in that he obviously rated Lucas as his captain and stuff, and he went, do you know what, Lucas taught me a lot about how to be a better person in football. So Lucas Neill would basically go around and make sure would on a, like, in a bag, get people to give a percentage of their win bonus to put in the bag, and then he would take the money and give it to the kit man or the tea lady or the groundsman. And he would start saying, look, at the end of the day, if they're doing what they're doing now on a certain wage and they're doing a good job, if you gave them a bit extra, they'll be, your clothes will be pressed twice as good, your cup of tea will be twice as nice, and
it means a lot to them as well.
It really does.
These are these are their idols. I don't know if they're their idols, but these are important people they're working with. Compared to them, they're representing a fan base. They're representing global. You look at how global you look at Lucas Neill being Australian, and you look at our Australian fan base. He must have been worshipped out there when he was playing for us. And it's just little things that make someone's day. It's just a shame you don't see that in football these days anymore, do you? And it really is a shame. I do call on it to happen more, like especially when you see clubs go bust. I just wish things would be done more, especially when you see the greed of the Premier League these days.
It's true. It's like, as soon as like when the ESL came in and it was like, where was UEFA when Berry went out? Where was UEFA when, when other teams are in the brink of, they when it doesn't suit them, it would cost them not pennies, but it would cost them not fuck all really to put some money in their pocket and bail Berry out. Or, it's nothing.
Principles as well, Russ. It's like. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It is a shame. Anyway, midfield. Midfield.
My left midfield.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not everyone's favourite, if I'm being honest, after what happened. Was only with us really for about 18 months. But from what he did in them 18 months, I just can't not put him in. No, I think it's going to be. It's Dimitri Payet.
Yeah. And you're funny. Everyone, he's one of the most picked players, and everyone prefaces that with, "You're not going to like this," but everyone picks him because, when are we ever going to have? It was just that good. And when are you ever going to see a Ballon d'Or nominee while he's playing for your club?
Yeah.
We're not,
especially us.
Especially that's what I mean, us more. And I don't mean Messi at 54 turning out for Leyton Orient, or he was in his pomp, and it doesn't happen very often that players are playing their prime. And Payet was just best player I've ever seen technically at West Ham.
Just for the memories as well. I mean, I know he left under a cloud, and people. I think people were annoyed, and rightly so.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think it was a long time ago now. I think people sort of moved on now and really appreciated what a player he was. It's just such a shame in what happened. It really was, because it was in the middle of the season. We weren't doing great, because you just think like a year earlier he just signed that new deal, and we were looking at qualifying for the Champions League with him. Just the memories of it, because that season, we go to games home and away, and we just see him light it up week in, week out. Just magical moments. That free kick at Old Trafford. When that went in, I think I've never celebrated a goal so much. And I thought when that goal went in, I thought we're actually going to win the cup. Then I started to believe we were going to do it. And then, the Palace free kick, just countless moments of genius, just a joy to watch. Everything. He was just so effortless on the ball. Just a magician.
Yeah, he was. He was just. And he made the players around him better. Arguably, that's probably Mark Noble's best season.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And I see obviously him and Lanzini as a pairing. And I think that was probably one of Lanzini's best seasons as well. For us,
his third season, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, the way he left, but plug it. Someone like. Yeah, when he went to, Marseille welcomed him back with open arms, and he basically did exactly the same thing to Marseille as he did to us. When he originally left for us. So, it is what it is.
I think he's too old now. He's about 30 or something, isn't he? And it's just, it's too. I think it's too late to bring him back, because I think we were 28 when we signed him, weren't he? So we did get him probably in his prime.
We did.
It's just, it was just so sad after the way it happened, and all that was gone. But now that the dust has settled, you look back on it, and I don't know about other people. I mean, people are going to see it differently, but I'll appreciate that 1 year we had just the best player I've seen play at West Ham in my time.
It was an honour to watch him play.
Yeah,
it really was. He was an absolute. He's the best technical player I've ever seen at West Ham.
Yeah,
and I think he just gave us those, and and it doesn't happen very often that the stars align at West Ham. But we had like the right manager, the last season at the Bowling, the right star man, the right relationship between the manager and the player. It just all worked.
Yes, it was all perfect, weren't it?
It doesn't. I mean, we never get players. Well, a bit different now, but we never seem to get players when they're in their prime. And
well, we never get players like that technically good either, because I think when he burst on the scene, we all just realised this is the player we've all been crying out for. This is the player that the missing piece of the jigsaw, because we had, I just remember us never really having any free kick takers for years. I remember the year we come up, it was like Andy Carroll just smash it with his left foot and hope. And he got lucky once that it took a deflection against Southampton and rolled in. I think we had Noble and Nolan on free kicks. Noble, when Noble plays, he's still on them sometimes. It's the long thump in, but then Downing come in. I thought Downing was the best of a bad bunch, just not as good. And then when Pyatt come in, like every free kick was like a penalty.
It was, it was, and there was a level of excitement, 30 yards out, that he was at least going to hit the target, and the stuff he did with the ball was just phenomenal.
I did not think he'd score that free kick at Old Trafford. I mean, when I was in the upper tier, and it looked so much more far out than it did.
Yeah,
just so different. And at the time, De Gea was probably the best goalkeeper in the world. As well.
Easily.
And couldn't believe it. Just hit it perfectly. It just made it look easy. It's made everything look easy. What a player!
He was a fantastic player. Right, we'll put him left wing. Who's going to go right wing then?
It's quite odd that I'm putting him here, because he didn't really play on the right for us much. He played on the left, but I can't think of anyone else that I liked who played on the right. Yep. You had Kieran Dyer, who was sick note. You had Pablo Barrera, who was terrible. Gary O'Neill in the Championship. You had a few who, nowadays we've got a few, Bowen and the like. It's just hard to really think of, for me anyway, but he played on the left for us more, but I've just accommodated him on the right, just to get him in. Matty Etherington. Again, one of the originals. When I first got into West Ham, he was firmly a fan's favourite. It's around that time when he scored that goal against Ipswich, which everyone liked, very, very popular in West Ham culture. Again, just a good servant for the club. Left at a bad time. All these, a lot of these players they've all just left. They all left at terrible times. I think, Anton left in 2000. I don't think we signed any players that window. Generally, we didn't sign any players that window, apart from like Diego Tristan and Di Michele. Di Michele was decent. But you had him who went. I think Lucas Neill went at the end of that season, and then Matty Etherington went in the middle of that season to Stoke in the January. And at the time, he wasn't great. But, looking back now, like, fucking hell, like, we didn't sell a lot of players around there. Again, all these players were great for us, from my original heroes, and they all left a few years later. We'll get on to more again later on, but they all leave. What I mean? They all leave.
Didn't they? They did. There was a period where
they all leave, like, just controversially, and it's just like, I just look back at it now, I'm like, I miss them. But Matty Etherington, I just liked. Came from Spurs, but just another one who just gets the club. Got promoted with us. Played in the cup final in 2006, didn't he? I liked Matty Etherington, and again, you see him come up a lot, don't you? I think you've done one of
Yeah,
these with him as well, haven't you?
we've done with Matty.
Yeah.
He's a top guy. He's really, really sweet. They're all off. I mean, they're all very sweet, but I think Matty. I think obviously there's with him. Obviously, a lot of people know the reason why he left, and it was
gambling, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was in the wrong place, and fair enough. Just fair enough.
He was because it was a big mistake. Because when he went to Stoke, he was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
In the years that went by, I remember when we played Stoke in the cup in the quarter when they beat us at the Britannia. I think he dived to win a penalty, and it was Rob Green saved it. But
yeah, he was a good boy. I like
Matty.
Yeah,
he was very. He had a good game that day. But I did like Etherington. Again, just left at the wrong time. I think a lot of these players left and just went on to do well.
Yeah, it's just the way, isn't it? Unfortunately, right? Okay, we'll put Matty next. Who's good midfield? Who's your first central midfield then?
No questions on this one. Mark Noble.
Nobes. Yeah.
No more to say really. Everyone's hero. Everyone's original. To be fair, the first season, the first couple of seasons of me supporting West Ham, he weren't really getting the team. There was only the loan spells at Hull and Ipswich, and then obviously he made his debut the second half of the Great Escape season, and he just kicked on from there. I knew, one day he's going to be captain. Like I know we had like Nolan and all that, but I said once I know who's going to go. There's only one man for that captain's armband, and next year when he leaves, it's going to be an emotional day.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I think for me, it's the most Mark Noble thing to do to say you're leaving a year and a bit before you leave, because it gives us all a chance to sort of adjust.
I think he'd have gone this year if it weren't for no fans in the stadium.
I agree. I do. I really do agree. I think, and it's right. I mean, the fact is, but he wouldn't. And he came out and said, "Look, if I didn't think I could still compete, I wouldn't sign the 1 year." And to be honest, there's still a lot of life in the old dog. There really is. I think, in particular in Europe as well. It's a slower paced game, European football, and I think it's
different.
Mark. Yeah,
it's different though, mate. That's what worries me. It's a very different style of football, and it's very hard to adapt. This is why I think when we obviously played in the qualifying rounds in the previous years, we struggled because we don't know of these teams. No. We don't know how they play, and obviously you got to play different, and you got to play ugly. And I just don't think we weren't prepared.
No.
But I think, this year we've got to be, because we're straight into the group stage. And that's why I'm buzzing, because we don't have to worry about any pub teams that are going to knock us out in the playoff round. And, anyway.
Yeah, we're guaranteed those games. But, Mark Noble is Mark Noble. And, he's just Mr. West Ham. And it's been a pleasure having a fan in your team. It doesn't happen very often. And
exactly. There's a few fans in this team, I think. Konchesky, Anton and Mark Noble.
Yeah, definitely. Who's next?
So partner Noble in midfield. Again, not one that I really see mentioned anymore.
Sure.
But a player I really, really liked. I thought he was brilliant I thought technically he was excellent. I thought he scored some fucking good goals for us as well. And I just thought ability, he was just brilliant. Yossi Benayoun.
Nice. Yeah, I like Yossi.
I really liked him. I thought he was a proper, one of them, I wouldn't say Rolls Royce, but different, different to, you get stuck in and roll your sleeves up, the technical side player. I just thought, I remember a few goals he scored, like when he dinked it over the Fulham goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I remember when we beat Villa 4-0, and he scored the fourth goal, the drag back, Cruyff-like bang. Just a very, very good player for us, and there's a reason Liverpool signed him. There's a reason he played for Chelsea and Arsenal. He was just a very, very good player. And I tell you what, when he came back, because he had two spells, like he came back on loan in 2012, didn't he? With the season we came up. It was quite ironic because both seasons he signed for us was when we were newly promoted in 2006 and 2012. So, sorry, 2005 and 2012.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, obviously, again, when he come back, I was just over the moon. I was that happy because we signed him on the Friday. I remember the deadline day was a Friday when we signed him on loan from Chelsea. And I was absolutely over the moon. The next day we had Fulham at home. It was when Andy Carroll made his debut and we smashed him 3-0.
Yeah.
And I took my kit and I went to the club shop before the game and I got him on the back of my kit. And that was the last time I've ever got a name on the back.
Really? Amazing.
Because at the end of the season, he went back to Chelsea and he won the fucking Europa League with them.
Yeah.
Because we terminated his loan at the end of the year at Christmas time. And I was so upset because I thought, I love Yossi Benayoun. He's one of my favourite ever players. He's come back. We played him, we barely played him. We played him wide a lot. And he just, it's a long, long time since he first signed for us. He just weren't the same player. But it's just great to see him play for us again.
Yeah.
But I've got him on the back. I think when he retired, I got the kit out just as a little tribute to him because he is one of my favourite players. Yeah. Just hat tricks in the Champions League for Liverpool. Underrated, I'd say. Underrated.
He's the first player to get a hat trick in the Premier League, the Champions League, I think Europa and FA Cup, or in every potential. He's the first person to have got a hat trick in all of those things. Obviously for different clubs, but and actually, you say he didn't necessarily roll his sleeves up, or whatever, but you interview people like Anton and Matty and Conch and people like that. And they all talk about Benayoun in training, love to give it out, love to put his foot in, love to tackle, likes a bit of it. Looked like it's a bag of bones. It looked like a wind would blow him over, but he liked a bit of a tackle. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. Great player. Very underestimated, I think. Now, forwards, striker, first one.
Right, this was tough. Believe you, and I say it was tough because we've had a lot of shit strikers, as you know, over the years. Like, fuck me, we've had some really tough ones, but we've had some we've had some proper cult heroes.
Yes,
this was a tough one because some strikers are my favourite ever West Ham players.
Okay,
and I'm going to rule some out here. Colton Cole, love the guy to pieces. He sent me a birthday message last year. My sister paid something on Cameo and he sent me a video of him saying happy birthday, wishing me well. Obviously my friend Baz knows him as well, so he's got him to send a little voice note too. There was Dean Ashton as well, who was again, I just the injury. It's such a shame what happened with him, the injury, and I think he would have been gone on to be one of the best strikers in the world had it not been for that injury, because he was just a natural goal scorer. Just perfect build, perfect perfect body type, technically good, just instinctive. What a striker! But he doesn't make this team, sadly, for sentimental values. So I'm going to go for my number 9. And the first striker is when you're sat in row Z and the ball hits your head.
Exactly.
That's Zamora. That's Zamora.
Oh, we love him. Good old Bob.
Just again, and I tell you why I love Zamora. That picture I showed you at the start of me in the hat.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the blue away kit from the championship season the early mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And he was the first name I got on the back of a West Ham kit. Because obviously the ones my granddad got me when I was 6, I didn't get him on the back.
No.
So Zamora was the first name I got on the back of a kit. And just for that, it's just very, very, very sentimental. And he was a very good striker for us. Got us up in 2005 with the winning goal in the final. I think him and well, I don't want to say who his strike partner was because I'm going to give it away, ain't I? But just the season, the first season back, just he was very underrated. Scored some good goals, but again, left at a shit time. Sold to Fulham, and he just went on to, he went on to score so many good goals for Fulham. Ended up getting to Europa League final with them.
Mm.
And I just remember the season we went down into 2011, I saw him scoring for Fulham. I saw how comfortable Fulham were. I saw, because Fulham made the Europa League again that year on fair play.
Yeah.
And, I just thought, why did we sell him?
Mm.
Why did we sell him? What a servant to the club. West Ham, I know, West Ham boy as well. I think I know he grew up playing. He played for Brighton as well, and Brighton are a team close to his heart as well. I mean, every time we play Brighton on the telly, he's always in the studio because both clubs mean a lot to him. But I'll never forget when he, I think we played Tottenham, and on the morning of the game, he tweeted, "Two of my former teams playing tonight. Good luck to both, but there's only one team I want to win, and it's the team in claret and blue." So again, he knows. He knows.
He does.
He understands the West Ham sentiment, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I remember when we had him on. He was talking about his career. And obviously when he joined from Tottenham, and he went, "Yeah, I went to Tottenham, and I fucking hated it, so I moved." So it's come to West Ham, and he's like, but he was just so honest about it, and he had a knack. There was, I think, the season we went up. That first season, he said he scored some goals. I think he was like top goal scorer in the Premier League for like a good 6 or 7 weeks at the beginning of the season. But I don't remember him scoring a clean goal. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I remember Liverpool, I think he came off his arse or came off his back or something. And
he crossed it, didn't he? It went all the way in.
Yeah, and there was another game where he rebounded off his head, but he had a knack.
I'll tell you what, I remember that the funniest goal was the goal against Charlton, I think, when he completely scuffed it. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know how the keepers just let that. And it looked easy to save. I think he scuffed it into the ground.
Yeah.
And the keeper went, the keeper was scrambling across. I thought, surely he gets down. He hit the post, and the post done the keeper. It just trickled in. I was like, oh my God, that is fucking terrible goalkeeping. Terrible finish, Bob, but, they all count, mate.
They all count. And it's the ugly goals, isn't it? They're the ugly goals.
Yeah, they're the best goals, aren't they? But he did score some good goals. I remember that goal against Birmingham, flick over the defender, touch around the other one defender and through the keeper's legs. Just brilliant. He showed some fucking good signs.
Yeah, he was a good player. Great player for us. And as you said, that championship season, the Ipswich game away,
what a goal that is. That's so hard to do as well, isn't it?
And to see him score that goal to take us up as well at the playoff final, West Ham boy, knows what it meant to him and stuff like that. It was, it's great. Again, it's one of those moments that's sewn into our history, our modern history, which is nice to look back at. Right? Okay, so we got one more spot. So let me just type in. Let me type him in. Let me type in Guillermo Franco.
How'd you get it up so quick? You got quick fingers or something?
I've got quick fingers.
Because I was going to say, you're guessing quite well, ain't you?
I do guess. So I'm going to guess. I think
you get the clue,
going to be.
Yeah,
what?
Definitely.
Go on, then. Put everyone out of your minute. Who's the last one?
This, and it's the best till last because he's actually my favourite ever West Ham player.
Really? Wow.
Yes. Again, one of the originals. One of my favourite ever moments supporting West Ham. That goal at Villa Park in the FA Cup semi-final. There's your clue. You can start typing now.
Oh, I know it is.
Just prolific in the Championship the year before with Zamora, and obviously Teddy Sheringham as well. But I'm not going to put him in. The one and only Marlon Harewood.
Yeah,
my childhood hero, my favourite ever West Ham player. Absolutely love the guy.
Good old Mazza. Top man, top boy, isn't he? And what I liked about Marlon Harewood was where I used to sit at Upton Park when I was doing the DJing there was like it's under the scoreboard between the Bobby Moore and the Rio stand or Dr. Martin's Alpari, where it was called that week. And that corner, I used to always fondly call it Harewood corner. Because Marlon would always drift off to the right, the ball would go into the corner, and he would do a little trick, and then always go along the byline and drop it in. And he did it every game. Marlon, it's Harewood corner. But he was a unit. you know, I think he was a real, and obviously, you know, the FA Cup final, and just the fact that he had one leg at the end.
Oh, fucking! You know, I mean, yeah. If just imagine, like, you know, we'd have flying cars if that went in, wouldn't it? You know, the world would be like 3,000 years into the future. I mean, I think I think if that goal went in, I think I wouldn't be the only one saying he's your favourite ever player.
No.
But you know, he just couldn't walk. Could he? It was that tackle at the end. The thing is, it was a fucking great save from Rayner, which actually presented him that chance because, you know, he pushed it on the post. But yeah, it's such a shame. But yeah, I just, you know, one of the original players, gave it his all. Knows what it's like, and you know, he's the only. Well, I'm just trying. Let me just think. I think there's 5 players in this starting 11 that I've met in person. Rob Green, I've met in person. I think Collins, I've met. Noble, I've met. Zamora, I've met. Pyatt, I've met. So I think, obviously pretty much only a few missing, Anton and Paul Konchesky and Lucas Neill. But when I met Harewood, it was really special. I was at the Player Awards in 2018. Somebody had a spare ticket, so I went along. I still had to fucking pay for it, like not cheap, as you probably well know.
Yeah,
but you know, I thought, let's go along. You know, let's have a laugh. And I didn't think he was going to be there. I'm just trying to find the picture now, but I didn't think he was going to be there. And when we were on the tables, and obviously you get the little break in between, they're trying to auction all that shit off, and you know, and I'm just like, right, I'm going to go around and see who I can chat to for a few minutes. And I just remember walking round with my mate, and I just saw him get up, like right in front of me. He just got up. I was like, oh my god, it's Harewood. And I sort of like just stopped. I froze in the moment.
Oh, sweet.
I was like, oh, it's Marlon. Like I said to my mate, look, take my phone, get a picture now. Right? I just stopped you. I was like, Marlon. I said, Marlon, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. I literally, I was almost like, I didn't want to make a tit myself, but I almost got on my knees and was like that. But,
like Wayne's World, we're not worthy.
You know, I said to him, like, you gave me some of the best memories in my childhood growing up supporting West Ham. You know, that goal at Villa Park, you know, you were I said to you, you're my childhood hero. You're my favourite ever West Ham player. And I just said, look, it's an absolute honour to meet you. Can I please have a photo? And he went, yeah, sure. And there we go. And it was that's one of the happiest moments of my life, just meeting your childhood hero. And a few months later, you wait ages to meet your childhood hero, and you meet him twice in 1 year because Fulham away. We were. He was in the away end. We went 2-0 up at half time. I turned around and celebrate. You know what you do to hug the person behind you. I jumped. You know, I've turned around to hug the person behind me. And it's Marlon here, and I'm like, "All right, Marlon."
I love
nice to see you again. But I remember my Mark Noble's testimonial.
Yeah,
and this was really funny because he scored in the testimonial. Right, and I was sat right at the front in the West Stand lower, and he scored a goal. He scored the goal. Him and Ashton combined to score, and he's run over to the corner, ripped his shirt off, and done the same celebration he'd done the cup semi-final. And in that moment, it all coming back to me, and I actually had tears in my eyes. And all of a sudden, he's looked up and he's thrown his shirt down in anger because it's offside. And I was like, what, really? Offside of the testimonial?
Testimonial? That's harsh, isn't it? That is really harsh.
That is the most West Ham thing ever. You know, your childhood hero replicates one of your favourite ever goals, and it's offside in a testimonial. Fucking hell.
Brilliant. But I mean, it's this memories, and it's things like that which are so West Ham.
Yeah.
You know, it's so West Ham. I mean, Dean Ashton doing that bicycle kick. You had Adrian scoring a goal. That whole Di Canio just couldn't get him off the pitch, and it was just But it was a fitting tribute, and I was glad that Mark pushed it through to do it at the bowling because it was right, and getting all the boys there. It was just a lovely moment for a lot of people, and And there's the team.
Love
There's
it.
the team. Love it.
Have we got a manager though?
No, who would your manager be?
Well, let me just look at that. Let me just check the team out. Yeah, that's what it is. The no nonsense 4-4-2.
Nice.
You know, 2 strikers, 2 centre mids stuck in, two wingers. You can't go wrong, can you?
You can't like that.
That'll win the league. But the striker for me, the manager for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very. We've had a few, haven't we? Like, I think obviously my first West Ham manager, I remember when I first got into supporting us, was Pardew, and I actually like Pardew.
Yeah.
He left under bad terms. You know, obviously, some of him, I was a bit too young to really understand what was going on. You know, there were rumours he was having it off with a few of the players' wives, weren't there? And he was out of the Premier League for a long time. Pardew. He went to Charlton, and Southampton. I think got relegated to League One with Charlton and the Championship, and then Southampton. He was in League One at the time when Newcastle appointed him. So he came. He was out of the Premier League for about 3 years. But yeah, he's done okay since he left us. Like at Newcastle, he done all right. I thought when he went to Palace, he done well. When he come back to face us as Palace manager, they beat us and they played some good stuff under him. But I think Pardew's one of them. You're good for one season, and then you just shit the rest. And I think a lot of clubs he went to, you know, found that out, and we've not seen him since that ill-fated spell at West Brom. But it's not going to be Pardew. After Pardew, it was Kerbishley. I like Kerbishley, ex-player and all that. I always like the ex-player sentiment. But,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know, just was, you know, I think you look at you know, I think, you know, I can't stand GSB, but, you know, and people say, you know, you look at the way they treat their managers. I think the Icelandics took the piss out of Kerbishley because they sold players behind his back and he resigned. He thought, fuck you, I ain't going to bother with this. I thought he was a bit dull, Kerbishley, if I'm honest. I did like him. I thought he'd done well, kept us up in 2007. We had a solid season the next season, but I just thought it was dull. And he's not managed anyone since. And Christ, this was 13 years ago. Then there's Zola, good 1 year, shit the next. Chelsea legend, nah. Yeah. Avram Grant, less said about that, the better. Big Sam, Big Sam doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Do you know what? I agree, Dom. I was gonna say that because to be fair, he got a job. He had, you know, and I know he has his knockers and so to speak, but he did a job. You know, he was employed to get us up. And to be fair, up until this current regime, I think in between, up until Allardyce, all the managers in the middle, in that bit, I don't think had much of a plan.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, he had a plan. You know, he knew with Kevin Nolan and this and long ball and and you know, and Moyes was the same. You know, he's got but you know, everyone and I don't think he gets the credit because he's Big Sam. And you know, it's just
This is ego and his personality. Yeah. The thing is with these sort of managers, like, you know, they're not everyone's cup of tea, but what you've got to remember is they're very, very experienced.
Yeah.
They've managed a hell of a lot of Premier League games in their time. And a lot of people don't seem to realise that. They just think, oh, Big Sam, boring, long ball, ineffective shit. No, thank you. But at the time, we needed him.
We did.
Now, when we appointed him, we were on our knees. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We had to get that appointment right. And all right, we should have walked that league. We should have walked the Championship. The amount of money we spent, the players we had, we should have walked that league.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we've done the job. It was fucking nervy, but we've done the job. And we had that we had that marvellous, memorable day out at Wembley.
Exactly.
We've done the job, though.
Yeah.
You know, you always say it's the best way to get promoted, winning at Wembley, don't you? It's not uncomfortable, but once you're through it, you know, there's no better feeling. So true. But the thing is with, obviously, he never connected with the fans. The football was dull. A lot of people don't like him, which is understandable. But, you know, I say he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And we wouldn't be where we are, I think, without him.
No.
Because he's a big, you know, he's a big part of where we are. But I just think when you look at that interview he done last week about, really getting upset about Antonio didn't say anything wrong. Antonio didn't say anything offensive. There was no malice intended. I do agree with what Big Sam was trying to put him, because he didn't, they were talking about long ball. And to be fair, West Brom played some good stuff that night against us. They gave us a tough game. I didn't see much long ball for them. They played good football. It weren't really a typical Big Sam side. But when he starts, saying stuff like that and getting all upset and, just like mouthing off, and then you remember why he was very unpopular.
Yes. I mean, I remember Burnley away. And obviously Burnley, you come out, they have to cross the pitch to go to the dugout, and the whole team had gone out and Sam hadn't gone out yet. And Sam was about 20 paces behind the last player, because obviously Burnley ate him because he used to manage Blackburn and stuff like that. And he just absolutely loved it. Loved the fact he was the pantomime villain. You can see,
he's got a massive ego. Massive ego.
Yeah. And that's been him. That's him. And that's him. Yeah, and that's why he's a firefighting manager. He comes in, he ruffles out, gets it done.
He's a celebrity manager.
Yes.
He's the celebrity manager.
Yeah, good way to describe it.
Very well respected. I mean, a lot of people hate him, but I think he's a very well respected manager. I think he's been a very, he's a face. He's a face. Yeah. He's been around in the game for years. He's got a lot of games under his belt.
Yeah,
not won anything, not the most entertaining, but I think, like I say, he doesn't get the credit he deserves what he did with us, and I always say that. And I think I respect the job he done for us. To be fair,
yeah, I agree totally.
But then anyway, on to the other. So yes, Bilic, Moyes, Pellegrini. Now this is where I'm going to give him the answer. Pellegrini, too flash, didn't work out. The big name didn't work. So it's between Bilic and Moyes. And Moyes, Moyes has proved the whole fan base wrong effectively. And I think Moyes could go on to be our best manager for a while if we can keep progressing under him. The job he's done is just nothing more spectacular. But my favourite manager is Bilic.
Yeah.
The ex-player, I was calling for him for a while. And when we appointed him, I was delighted because I was calling for him. He was the manager I wanted because I thought he was a character. I thought he played good football. I knew he'd get it right. I know we didn't have as good a season than we did this season under Moyes, under Bilic, because obviously we finished 7th this year. We finished 6th, and we've looked more like a team. Obviously, that season was Pyatt, but the difference is we could go to games, and we had the special players. And to be fair, that team was united. That team was a team. I know there was the one individual that stood out, Pyatt, but we were still a united team. We had the cup run. We had, we beat every one of the top 6. The memories, the win at Anfield, the win at Arsenal, the win at Man City, the Man City win. Like that's one of the craziest days I've ever experienced. Like, we'd obviously beaten Arsenal, we'd obviously beaten Liverpool, and we thought surely you're not going to beat Man City. I worked a night shift the night before, and I just went to Manchester without any sleep. I was absolutely knackered. I was buzzing for the game. Obviously, we went up to London. We did go up to London get the train from London to Manchester.
Yeah,
and we had a few beers, as you do, and it was just a good day. And then we got to the ground, and we're like, this is where the fun ends, boys. We're gonna get slapped. And about half hour, we go 2-0 up, and we're like, and I said to my mate Charlie, like, surely we're not going to do this again, surely. Yeah. And then they scored right on half time. De Bruyne scored his first goal for them, 2-1, and I don't like. We're all sat at half time saying, well, it was nice work last year. And this guy came over, and this guy just came over. He was absolutely battered, and he just threw up everywhere. He literally threw up in. There was this massive pile of sick in our row, just literally everywhere, just chundered everywhere. And I turned around and said to my mate, I was like, if we actually win, I'm going to eat that sick. If we hold on and win, I'll eat that sick. Because I said it with confidence because I didn't think we would.
Yeah.
They battered us second half, but we won the game 2-1. And I was like, yeah, I'm not eating it.
Yeah, I'm not eating it.
But, the memories of that Bilic season, the Everton comeback as well, I thought he was a lovely, humble guy. I was gutted when he got sacked. I think he had to get sacked because I think he lost that dressing room. I think the board treated him like shit. I've met Bilic. I went up to him after a game, and I just put my hand on his shoulder. I was like, I know it was the first season at the London Stadium. I said, I know things haven't been great this season compared to last season, but I said, I still think you're a good manager. I still like you as a manager, and I hope you stay for longer. And he just shook my hand. I was like, thank you very much. Just a humble guy, lovely bloke. Again, Jack, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Everything, every good thing has to come to an end.
Yeah.
But he'll always be my favourite manager, just for the memories. That last season at the Bowling, he was there. He was the manager that made that special. And like I say, the memories and the days out we had watching his team, you just can't compare, really.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the memories, isn't it? And I think it was just such a special season that he'll always have a place in. Again, this weird tapestry that is patchwork quilt that is West Ham's modern history. He'll have a patch named after him, and it's a shame. For me, I think he always seemed to be. I mean, he did a similar thing at West Brom, wasn't it? When it's going good, he's very good. But when the chips are down, it just seemed when things weren't working as much. And
I think he ran out of ideas, didn't he? In the end, yeah.
And it's different. I mean, that's why I think he was such a good international manager, because in theory, not all you're doing, but you're picking the best players. So you don't have to worry about recruitment, really, or buying the right players. You're buying the best players from your nation. You get them for a week, 2 weeks. And it's just about a team spirit and getting everyone on the same page and buzzing. And he was good. He was wanted to be everyone's friend. And that's great. That's when everything's going well, that is pucker, but obviously it happened at West Brom, and same thing happened, really, weren't it? It's just like he got promoted and the chips were down, and he's like, oh, okay, and you're right. I think he's run out of ideas a little bit, and it's a shame because he's a lovely bloke. And
sorry, go on, Russ.
Well, you carry on, man. I was stopped.
I just want to quickly say, when you touch on that Croatia job he had, that's when I first really discovered who he was, because it was when they beat England to knock them out, to stop them qualifying for the Euros in 2008. Euro 2008, and I remember I labelled him bullshitting Bilic, because in an interview before the game, I remember watching. It was it's obviously a very famous game because it was just spectacular. England failure, the Wally with the brother. It's one of them don't forget. And I remember watching the interview in the build-up, and they interviewed him, and he said, I hope England go to this tournament because European, these tournaments need countries like England there. England has to be there to make the tournament special. And I was only young at the time, I didn't really understand the professionalism of the game. And I said to my dad, hopefully he lets us win then. And when obviously England were 2-0 down, got it back to 2-0, and then Croatia scored again, and I just saw him celebrating on the touchline. Obviously, they'd already qualified.
Yeah.
And I just said, I thought he wanted us to qualify, so I called him bullshitting Bilic. I liked him. I thought that was a good team he had. It was a good manager. And I remember when we sacked when Konchesky left, we actually tried to we approached Croatia to try and appoint him, and they turned us down, but I loved him as our manager. He was just a humble guy. He was just a cool guy. You know what I mean?
Really cool.
Cool guy. Just like, one of your mates' dads who's just who's cool. But I like Bilic. I still do. I hope he comes back as a guest at a game one day.
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
no,
I know what you mean.
just
But
one of them.
I think with Bilic, I think we never made the, and I think, the fact that we had Bilic and Julian and as a pair, and I don't think we ever made a big deal of the fact that we had Julian Dixon, the coach. Julian Dix is a modern day. He was my idol, and it was almost like he's such a humble man, Julian is as well, that he didn't want to overshadow the fact that Slav's the manager and he's idea, in people's eyes, if they compared the two of them, he's up there in terms of West Ham legendary status, and Bilic is there. But because Bilic is the manager, he's like, and it was. I just never thought we made enough of it. Do you know what I mean? The fact that Julian Dix was
I
on
know
our
what you're
coaching
saying.
staff, but
Because we forgot he was there because of
he was.
I think Bilic's done such a great job. Because I think he was the only coach we recognised. Because a lot of them were Bilic's mates who were all like, Edin Terzic, and he's at Dortmund now, that fella, isn't he? Terzic. I see that come up on his Insta, but I think the difference is with Moyes' team at the minute. You see him on the, they're very familiar faces. You got Stuart Pearce, you got Nolan. These are very recognisable faces. I think when you've been watching it on the telly like we've done all season, the Sky cameras always seem to focus on them because they know who they are.
Yeah,
and obviously you've got Nevin, who you always see by him and Moyes are joined at the hip on the touchline a lot, aren't they? So I think it's you sort of appreciate the backroom staff more when you know who they are. I think
yes, because you know what they're going to bring to the table. I mean, we talk about Big Fat Sam, Kevin Nolan. It's still, the effects of Sam's West Ham are notable now because obviously he apparently Kev had to drop a division. He
hated Allardyce's backroom staff.
Yeah,
I remember when Allardyce left, they all left and they all just started saying bitter things. I think Neill McDonald, was a bit bitter. Ian Hendon as well was very bitter. Wally Downs left before Big Sam, didn't he?
Yeah,
I remember Wally Downs was Wimbledon manager when they knocked us out of the cup a few years ago. Matty Taylor, Matty Taylor with the left foot. Matty Taylor, he got appointed Walsall manager last week, and Neil McDonald's his assistant.
Oh, really? Jobs for the boys. And I'll try congratulations, Dom, because now technically you are now the longest ever episode we've had.
Listen, I did so. I do like to talk.
So there we go. So if anything, it's very well done. I was just looking because he was talking. I was like, "How now? I'm 43." Well,
yeah, time does fly when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It does. It does fly when we're having fun. Dom, man, it's been brilliant. It's been a right giggle. Really nice.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. It's good to talk, isn't it? It's good to just have a chat with stuff you know.
It is, and it's all memories, and sometimes it's nice to sort of sit down and reflect on the players and the experiences that everyone's had, and that's why I think people like doing it because it's quite cathartic. It's like actually, no, we had some good times and there's some good memories, and hopefully we've got some good times ahead of us as well. So, really appreciate your time. All 1 hour and 45 of it. So I do, and obviously thank you to everyone for watching. Congratulations if you got through to the end. Well done.
Is this live?
No.
It's pre-recorded. It's just got live in the top corner, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Pre-recorded. Anyway, from myself and from Dom, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those jabs. Come on, you irons. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Come on, you.